The delay, by the way, guys. Now my whole setup's falling apart. But welcome, guys, to today's session. We are going to be going through an AMA session as per usual. We do this every week, myself and Juan, and give you guys the opportunities to ask any questions that you may have about Darwin X, Darwin X Zero, or anything that you want. It's just your chance to chat to us and ask any questions. We're also going to be going over some future developments that we have. We're kind of working on a few different really interesting projects. Some of them are more early stage, some of them are being fleshed out, and we actually kind of have a date in mind of when we want to launch them. So we're going to be going over that today. For those of you who don't know who we are, I will introduce myself. My name is Kieran and I'm Head of UK Growth and Business Development. Juan, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm a co-founder with Darwin X, so pleased to meet you all, guys.
Just getting a notification in Discord. Could somebody confirm that the sound is okay? I can hear it fine. I just want to make sure that everybody else can also.
I think you're a bit low at my end.
Okay, let me see if I can turn myself up.
And then meanwhile, yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I'm one of the co-founders at Darwin X and Darwin X Zero. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys.
There we go. I've turned my microphone up, so hopefully you should hear me a little bit better, unless it's still pulling through my other microphone, and that was because that was on the floor, and my PC had been falling apart, so let me just re-plug that here, and we should be good to go. So for the guys who aren't aware of who we are, or you don't know too much about Darwin X Zero, I'm going to give you kind of a 2-minute elevator pitch as to who we are and what we do. Now, Darwin X Zero is the only place that you can grow and become a professional asset manager with zero risk. Now, risk doesn't in this case just mean money. We mean zero risk of providing any extra effort. You don't have to go network with investors. You don't have to certify your track record anywhere else. You don't have to go through the hassle of getting regulatory compliance in your relevant jurisdictions. It all goes through the Darwin X Zero ecosystem. You can grow from just a retail trader with no track record to becoming capitalized through multiple avenues with a track record of 2, 5, 10 years. We are the only company that allow that level of growth from retail trader to professional. We also have some of the best strategy insights on the market. I'm a huge statistics nerd, as the guys who join our strategy development sessions will already know. I love going through metrics and data and trying to find patterns, and the insights that we provide about your trading strategy and about the risk level that you operate at is pretty much second to none. And if you use it and you embrace everything that we have outside of allocations, outside of performance fees and your track record, you will improve as a trader. So if you haven't been to one of our strategy development sessions, I highly recommend them. We used to run them at 5 p.m. UK time on a Thursday, so we'd usually be doing them now. But we swapped the AMA sessions, which used to be run on a Wednesday, so that the strategy development sessions are now on a Wednesday at 4 p.m. UK time. If you're ever confused about the schedule of events, you can go into the Discord and there is an events tab and it will show you any upcoming events for the week ahead. We also have a huge community of like-minded traders. They're in the Discord. I think we have about 9,500 members right now. It's split into English natives, Italians, French, and Spanish natives. You can go in there and chat with anybody who you want, but the main thing about our community is everybody has the same vision and you will meet some fantastic people. You'll learn a bit from other people. There's guys who are really talented and managing quite significant portfolios through Darwin X Zero, and it's just great to be around these guys and pick up things from them as well. Now, I just want to mention for the guys who are unaware, every single person who trades with Darwin X Zero has something called a member get member code. Now, our member get member scheme allows you to refer your friends, family, traders in a forum, people in Discord, whoever you can find. If you bring them to Darwin X Zero, we will give you a 3 month subscription. The trader that you will refer will get a discount and you get a free month. if you refer 12 traders, you're going to be trading with Darwin X Zero for free for 1 year. Not many people know that we have this scheme, and go out and talk to their friends about Darwin X Zero anyway. So you may as well get a free subscription while you're at it. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about today, which I'm actually, after the conversations I was having yesterday with Javi Colón, I'm really, really, really excited about this, which is, if you haven't seen it, My Trading Tribes. Now, My Trading Tribe is basically like a Darwin X or Darwinia leaderboard on steroids. It's split between different communities. So you can have a tribe leader who has their own trading tribe, which would just be traders that they've either referred to Darwin X Zero, or you can group in and, with your friends, whoever you want, your trading communities, and build your own tribe. You can see, let me pull up a tab because I want to show you guys whilst I'm talking through it actually. My Trading Tribe. Just check that that's sharing the correct screen. Here we go. So I've just pulled up one of our partners' tribes, which is Albert Burgess and his tribe Tradosaurus Rex. Now, what we can see on here is everybody in Alb's tribe. We can see their return, their drawdown, their ranking in Darwinia, and their AUM. We can see the AUM collectively under the tribe, and we can also see the performance fees paid out to all of the traders in the tribe. Now, like I say, it's a bit like the Darwinia leaderboard, but on steroids. The really, really interesting thing about My Trading Tribe, which I'm really excited about, is we are going to be launching trading competitions, tribe versus tribe. Now, the reason I got so excited about this when I was talking to Javi yesterday was we were trying to think of ways to gamify this and get traders to be super, super engaged. And one of the things that was most interesting to me was the idea of having not only a competition where your performance is meritocratic, as in you get paid on your own performance, but working together as a team where your tribe leader might pick 10 of the best traders of the tribe each month or each quarter to compete together to try and generate the most return for that period of time and compete with other tribes. The gamifying element of it, where we can introduce cards, power-ups, all these different things to compete with different tribes. I'm struggling to get the words out. I just think it's exactly what I envisioned the first time I looked at the Darwinia leaderboard. I actually spoke to Ignacio, one of Juan's brothers, and I said, we need to get traders competing outside of Darwinia. We need to get healthy competition going. We need to play on traders' egos and see who's ready to push the limits and work together, right? Now, I actually fell out my chair laughing almost when Javi suggested it, but he was trying to make it akin to Mario Kart, where you get power-ups. And one of the things that he said, which really cracked me up, was, let's say you get a power-up, you can erase the trade from one of your enemy tribes. So let's say you're neck and neck with another tribe, and it's coming into the end of the month or the end of the quarter. You can get a power-up to erase a trader's position, or to close their position and double them down in the other direction. Some really like fun and interesting things just to make the competition a little bit fiercer. The reason I'm talking about this today is because this is actually going to be going live hopefully in May. We're going to be running a test from May to June, which is going to be kind of our beta period. And then from June onwards, we're going to run them as a quarterly competition, a battle of the tribes, if you will, which is what I had on the original thing here, on the original PowerPoint, the tribal battle. I am super, super, super excited for this. I think it's going to be hilarious for one, but I think we're going to see a lot of traders come together and actually work together to try and get better. Now, there's certain intricacies that I'm not going to go into now because I don't want to overload you guys with information, and I'm sure that you're going to have a load of questions that we can cover in the AMA. Rob has just asked in the Discord, did I miss anything? I had to help my mum. Yes, you did. But I'm sure you and I can have a proper conversation after this. But in essence, I was just talking about the tribal battles that's come into my trading tribe, which is where you can work together as a team or in your tribe to compete with other enemy tribes out there. And we're going to have power ups, and we're going to try and gamify it. Um, Typhoon, I'm missing a lot too. Don't worry, I'm feeding my minion. Typhoon knows everything that goes on in Darwin X. Don't let him fool you. The other great thing about my trading tribe is if you have a community or you want your own tribe, you can instantly see all of your friends' statistics. You can see how everybody's performing. If you're a mentor and you have a training group in your tribe, you will be able to see all of your students' results. It's fully transparent, nothing can be hidden. It's all pulling the data through from Darwin X Zero, so everything's verified by us as well. But the key thing, or the key reason that we're bringing this up today, is because we want to hear your guys' feedback and how you would utilize this, or how you would like to see us develop this moving forward. We obviously have our ideas, but we love to hear your feedback because it helps drive us forward. So, oh, sorry, my computer blacked out then. When we come to the AMA section, I'd like anybody, if you have any ideas, please shoot them forward and we can discuss them. Alternatively, if you think of anything after this session, please just send me a direct message on Discord. I'll go back to Javi and we'll see what we can bring to my trading tribes that you guys want. But I'm really excited for it. After my conversation with him yesterday, I got super excited and I just started going down the rabbit hole and seeing what we could bring to life. And the other thing that's finally being considered, and I have to thank Juan for this because Juan's pushed this through, and I've been asking to see this for months and months and months, and that's to have a Darwin X Zero journal. So anybody who knows me knows I love journaling. I talk about it in all of our strategy sessions, and I'm a huge advocate for traders journaling their positions. Without journals, you're not going to improve moving forward. Now, the issue for me is that Darwin X Zero shows you your most advanced metrics. It shows you things that are really great, but you can't drill down into individual positions and log specific data sets. What we're looking to do now is implement a new function similar to an automated trading journal where it will show all of your trades. You'll be able to add notes, tags, playbooks, screenshots. You'll be able to filter them, track different metrics, all at signal account level as well, so that you can track actually how you're performing and how you operate without being risk adjusted, which will work really nicely because you'll be able to see the disparity between your Darwin and your signal account statistics. Again, this is going to be super powerful for mentors because we'll be able to have the functionality to share your journals with your mentors. So if you refer your trading community to Darwin X Zero, you're going to have a 100% transparent view into what your traders are doing. And this is something that I'm really excited about this. I know a lot of people from the community have asked us for this over the past 6 to 12 months or so. And it's something that I've been pushing for. And then when I had a conversation with Javi yesterday, he actually said he doesn't think this will be too much work to get up and out there. And then over time, with your guys' feedback and help as well, we'll add new functions to it. We'll see what's working really well and we'll double down because I think a journal will be absolutely huge for D0. Juan, I don't know if you have any comments off the back of that.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just I've been engaging in a bit of a side chat with the guys on the questions side of thing here. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna tell you a bit of like history. I mean, we started Darwin X in 2010, and one of the key, like the first kind of killer app was going to be a trading journal, believe it or not. And I might even have some screenshots someplace. And for those of you who are familiar with the interface, I think there's the underlying strategy graphic, which shows the full history of the account equity together with the trades. Maybe I can get that up. I don't know if you know which one I'm referring to, Kieran. So if you go into like the Darwin X account, maybe I can guide you because I think I can't share screen myself.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. What did you want to go on?
Yep, just the Darwin X0. So there's the kind of, isn't there like a trading journal thing or a signal account?
Yes. Here we go.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, if you go further down. Yeah, so like that, just up that each of those things is a trade.
Hmm.
So back in the day, this was like a full screen thing that you could see, and then one of the options that I'm sure Javi's thinking about it would be to perhaps in each of those boxes that you've got, each of which is actually a trade on the Signal account, to be able to include like things like any annotations you wanted, or even screenshots coming from TradingView and so on. And that way, in addition to having your track record as in the trades you placed, if you explained why you placed them, that's going to be a very a good way to learn and reflect on your trading, but also down the line, it's not just about the trades you placed, but why you placed them. So it's another way of certifying a track record on a qualitative basis, in addition to just basically the trade history. So that was kind of one of the ideas back in the day, and I think we're more and more coming back into coupling this, the kind of analytics and self-improvement toolkit, together with community element, both in terms of both competing, not with enemy tribes, just like let's just keep them at the kind of rival tribes, and then also collaborating with. I believe Javi mentioned the idea of having squads where people who engage like a kind of work trade and engage with each other, they can kind of see real time on the chart who's trading what. So yeah, so I think Victor is making a point here around interfering in each other's trade. I mean, like no one would interfere in anybody else's trade. This is just a way to kind of share what people are doing, and it's people can see what everybody else is doing, but no one's placing trades for you or anything. This is just a way to share information and exchange ideas. That's the point. But yeah, I mean that's the for me it's kind of nice to see things come back full circle.
I mean, you know, Juan, how long I've been asking for this to be looked at because I think adding it as a element, like you have everything that you will need, and if you can add screenshots to specific trades and write notes, like you were saying, not just about the trade as in logging it, but saying why you got into these specific positions. I mean, it will make my job 10 times easier when I'm doing the strategy development sessions because if somebody can share their journal with me as well, we'll be able to look at, the intricacies of each trade. So I think, yeah, it's a huge, it's such a small development, like size wise, but it's a huge step forward for everyone. It's what's the saying? A small step for mankind, or I can't remember. The east coast of USA.
Yeah.
Let's pull back the presentation up. But again, going back to my point earlier, is we want your guys' feedback with everything. So anything that we're talking about now, the reason that we're bringing this to you before it's released is so that we can get your feedback. So it's really important, either now during the session in the Discord chat on X or on YouTube. Drop your thoughts. Let us know if you've got any ideas that would help us make it better. Let us know if there's something that you don't like, because again, we can, work around that. And even after this session, feel free to email us at info@darwinx0.com, or the best place to get feedback to us direct is to just message me on Discord and I'll ping it across to whoever needs to know. And see Maestro's joined the Discord chat as well after Typhoon tagged him. You're actually right, Typhoon, and that was a really good spot, because I think Maestro was you the first? No, you were the second person that I interviewed, and so OLRE is kind of my automatic. If I type it in my search bar, it always goes to OLRE. So you've probably got, if you looked at your web traffic statistics, you've probably got thousands of searches, but they're all me, unfortunately. And okay, before we go into the AMA section of this session, I just wanted to highlight that we are running a 10% discount at the moment. It is valid for 1 month, 1 year, and 3-year subscriptions. The code is DWX10, and it will give you 10% off. What's important to note with this as well is if you do go for the 3-year subscription, you will also receive a coupon of the value of €200 to put towards a permanent allocation also. So you'll get a discount on the subscription, and you'll also get either a free permanent allocation, which could be the 15% permanent allocation, or you could put it towards the instant 5 or 10% growth target one. See you later, Typhoon. I'll catch you in a bit, dude. So now we get into the more interesting part of the session, which is the Ask Me Anything. So this is your chance, guys, to ask myself or Juan any question about Darwin X Zero, no matter how granular it is, or about anything that we've discussed today when it comes to tribes or the journal tool or allocations, whatever it may be. This is your chance to get all of your questions asked. Also going to change, I'm going to try something with the stream. I'm going to try and change the layout now that we don't need the screen. So I hope it doesn't mess it up. There we go. Perfect. Now we're both a little bit bigger. You see, there's a couple of guys typing in the chat.
By the way, it's also like ask you anything. So I'm gonna ask you guys stuff too.
Yeah, you've flipped these on their head, haven't you, Juan? You always ask.
Well, you know, once we're at it, right? I mean, I've got the chance to ask 12 people, and so.
There's 45 people watching elsewhere as well, so you've got far more. But I don't know if you can see the comments from X or YouTube, but if any of them come through, I'll read them out to you as well.
Okay. So I'm seeing some questions here. I think all you need wants us to talk about the allocation increase for permanent allocation. I think I'll leave that one to you, Kieran, if you want to go for that.
Yeah, so I mean, we've spoken about this and the monthly performance fees. We've spoken about it quite a lot recently, and I always say everything that we release, we make sure that we stress test to the max from a business perspective. We don't release anything unless we know that we can sustain the model for our traders, right? So we're not going to start releasing stuff next week just because people want it. We have to risk test it. We have to simulate it over an extended period of time and know how it's going to affect our business and how it's therefore going to affect the traders. With something like increasing allocation size, that's does bring an element of risk. So like I say, it takes a while to work on these things, and there's a few different options that we're exploring right now. But again, we have no ETA on that because it's still going through the simulated period so that we know what risk it brings to us and how it's going to work long term. It is coming. I'm just going to ask you guys to be patient because at the moment we don't know the exact format that it's coming in. It won't be exactly the same as the permanent allocation, I don't think. I think the next version of will come in a slightly different format. We might even be bringing temporary allocations. So, and again, this isn't 100% set in stone, but you might be able to, let's say, purchase a temporary Darwinia allocation. So instead of having to earn €30,000 through the Darwinia program each month, you might be able to buy a booster for 3 months where you would get the 30K allocated to your account elsewhere. So there's a few different things that we are working on, but again, nothing is ready to come out just yet. But believe me, we are working on it. We know you guys want more allocations, and so we will do everything that we can to bring it to you. And in terms of the monthly performance fees, I actually don't think that's too far away. Juan, I don't know if you have any more information on an ETA on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get asked every week, and it's basically, you know, it's where it's 1 week closer. Just how long? I mean, I know it's not months. So, you know, if it's a month, something around that. I think we've got Easter coming around the corner, where kind of developers and everybody tries and take some rest. So we don't really tend to launch stuff just this side of holidays. But it's something which is kind of pretty much final on that one. I think we're kind of setting prices also, but I think that's close.
And anybody? Oh, go on.
No. There was another question by Maestro, but just you finish off on this one. Go for it.
I was just going to say once we introduce the monthly performance fees, anybody who is currently a client and has quarterly performance fees, you can stay on the quarterly method, but we'll give you guys, I think it's going to be a 3 month window to change on your account, so you'll be able to upgrade to monthly performance fees instead, and you'll have a 3 month buffer. After that 3 months, you'll be stuck on quarterly. So again, that's quite a big infrastructure change for us. So it takes a bit of planning, like Juan said. If the development team's stretched thin, obviously we need all hands on deck, because I would presume most people are going to change to monthly performance fees, if not every single person on the platform. So it's going to be quite a big task. It's not as easy as just switching something on. Moving forward, though, anybody who signs up for a new account will have the option at point of purchase to choose monthly or quarterly. Um, but that's kind of all I had to say on that one.
Okay. So I think we had the other question by Maestro, which is what determines which stocks are pulled from being tradable, and are those on track to be added? So fundamentally, what determines which stocks are tradable is basically two things. One is liquidity. The way our platform is set up is in a way such that any like the investor trades that track the trades that are coming from the Darwin provider, they basically go as a block to wipe the against the book as basically as a market order. So we need there to be enough depth to not trigger massive slippage. So we will only ever allow liquid stocks. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is that if we went for like non-liquid stocks, well, actually, it's kind of several things. So if we went for like non-liquid stocks, one issue would be that. The other issue is that there's if the stock is small enough, there's the option of trying to manipulate the market by kind of cornering it and just kind of throwing flow, running, doing all sorts of stuff which we can't control for, other than but just not allowing those stocks to be traded. And then the other thing, which is quite important from a cost standpoint, is the amount of, I mean, corporate actions, as in dividends, mergers, demergers, delistings, IPOs, and so on. There's like a lot of action that happens, which makes the operations of managing the investor book a lot more complex. And the complexity in those is exponential in the number of references, whereas the amount of volume goes down very kind of quite a bit. So, I mean, but by that I mean, if we just offered 100 stocks, then we would cover 80% of the flow. By adding every marginal stock that we add is just adding very little amount of business and a lot of incremental cost. So there's going to be a natural limit to the stocks that we offer at all times. So those are like a really two structural drivers. Then I guess that's pretty much it. That's what drives whether or not a stock gets added or removed, and so on. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. Okay.
Maestro, we
Glad to see.
miss you as well, man. It's been a while since we've had a catch up. I hope things are well with the new job as well, dude. I miss the days. Typhoons took your he's took your job in the Discord.
And sorry to hear it's horrible.
He picked up the mantle, yeah. It'd be good to catch up with you properly though soon, dude. It'd be good to have a chat properly. It's been a while. I mean, it must be close to a year since we recorded the interview together now. And I've heard through the grapevine you've started a few new Darwins since as well. But OLRE is still my bookmark. It's still where I go to automatically. Never give up. I mean, how long's the record now? Two years? Is it 2 years?
Okay, so let's see if there's any other questions that were out there. So I'm
we
just like repeating the questions. Like, do you guys? I mean, any of you? Other, I think Typhoon has already answered, and Darmity also. Like, do you guys interact with other traders, whether as you trade online or also offline? Is that something that you guys either do or would be interested in doing? For instance, like if we organized Darwin X events nearby where you live, is this something that kind of would be of interest? But by the way, Kieran, I'm just checking the Discord. If there's any other questions to come via StreamYard, I can't see those. So let me know if there's anything out there.
don't think there's anything at the moment. To be fair, usually most of the questions come through on Discord. Sometimes get a couple
Okay.
on X, but it's rare.
Hmm. Okay.
I was searching through the suggestions channel as well um, earlier, and we've got a guy called Snowy. I don't know if he's in the no, he's not in the audience. He usually comes to every session, so I'm surprised he's not here. And he brings up some really, really interesting points. But there was something that he said, and it was actually a conversation I'd had with Javi yesterday about having a combined Darwin for a tribe, for example, where
Hmm.
you kind of build your own portfolio within that tribe. So let's say it's me, Juan, Maestro, Typhoon, and there's four of us in a tribe. I would
Hmm.
contribute 0.25% of that Darwin's trades. So it would still take all of my trades, but 0.25% of the risk I took. And then you could have your own individual collective Darwins. I don't know if that's something that we would ever build out, but I think it's an interesting concept. And the only reason I bring it up is because me and Javi spoke about it, but then I also saw Snowy had asked for something similar. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know what your thoughts on that are, Juan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question of the kind of development. I think the road from here is basically for us to improve. I mean, obviously, get more investor capital to make everyone's while more worthwhile. That's kind of the job that I've set for myself to build out a faster pipeline of investor AUM, especially now that we've got the index with the best of that's going to come live into the platform in the coming weeks. So that's kind of one clear area of development, and the other is to create the options for traders to engage with each other in a productive way, so that everybody kind of competes with each other in a healthy environment, but also just learns from each other, engages with each other, and just makes the whole thing more enjoyable. Kind of, the journey is cooler with friends and like-minded individuals, because trading can be a lonely endeavor, and one can always learn from others. So that's kind of the direction of travel, right? So making meaningful interactions between like-minded, long-term committed traders possible in both online and perhaps even offline, and then also, of course, bringing more AUM to the table, so that the incentive to stick around and to kind of to really give it your best grows, because that's what this is about, right? Trying to access capital and making money from it.
Yeah, I think the community aspect's huge as well because, like you said, I don't think people appreciate how lonely trading actually can be, and having
Hmm.
people around who are kind of in the same boat with the same goals. I mean, it's when you're having a bad day, like if I'm having a bad trading day and I jump in the Discord and I see Typhoon or Maestro or somebody who I speak to on a daily basis, I just feel better instantly. you know, it because everybody else is in the same position. There's other people who've hit a stop or lost a couple of trades and I think if we can really try and build out the community element as well, I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it'll
I think
be
one of the good things about Darwinx is that everybody's got a Darwin, and everybody can see everybody else's Darwin. So like you can see just kind of, and that's one thing I do a lot. I mean, like I love the Darwinx Investor app.
Mhm.
Actually, that's maybe something, Kieran, that we should kind of make more use of. Just like letting people that there is a Darwin Investor app where you can actually buy into any of the Darwins, even in demo, if that's where you want it. So a good way to see how your mates are doing is you can actually go by OLRE real time to see how how Maestro is doing this morning. So that's actually something that we've discussed in the past, and I don't think it would be possible to open all zero Darwins for investment because I think that's something that we will only do for like the more evolved ones. But I think for sure in demo, because that way people can track each other in an automated basis and check it out as it goes. Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I have it. I see everything anyway. I bookmark every single person. As soon as I chat to somebody in the Discord and they tell me they're Darwin, I bookmark them and I keep an eye on them. But I think I haven't used the app, but I use the demo account on darwinx.com, and I play around with that. But
No, the app, I mean, it's kind of a bit dated because we haven't really had a lot of time to invest in it, but I think there's lots of potential to it in the sense that, yeah, and let me just see if I can show it to you. I'm not sure that I've logged in.
Victor said
Yeah.
we have our own website, thinking about possibility to integrate the tribal group in that website if more in our community are interested. I'm presuming you mean you have your own community and therefore your own website. If you do, just drop me a direct message, and we can either jump on a call or we can have a chat, and I can give you some more information and show you around the tribes and see what we can do together. Unless I've read that wrong, which I don't think I have. So if I'm right, just drop me a direct message on Discord, and I'll come back to you. And if you want, we can book a call in and jump on and have a chat.
I was hoping to get into the investor app, but I was hoping to get into the investor app, but for some reason I can't find it. Let me just look it up, the URL. Maybe I can enter for anybody who's on iPhone or iOS. There you go. And what's it called? The Android stuff? Is it
No
Play
idea.
or where do you find
The Play
apps for
Store, the
Android?
Google Store, or Android
Google
Store.
Store.
I have no idea. Play Store.
Yeah, I'm just getting old. Yeah, there you go. Here it is. Again, it's the same users that you've got for Darwin X Zero, so you can. And thanks, Maestro. It really shows that I'm getting old. But those two, I mean, you can actually install them on the mobile, and you can build demo portfolios buying other Darwins. It's kind of quite inspiring, and it's also a good way to see how traders, how investors will look at you in due course when you're far enough down the road. I actually encourage you guys to, I mean, and I don't think it's possible just yet, but one of my ideas for the brainstorming sessions, Kieran, and maybe you can just also pick that up if you think it makes sense, is to allow, to basically create a demo investor portfolio for any Darwin X Zero user that with a 100K investment by default into their own Darwin. So that way I can actually see real time how my Darwin is faring and just start thinking as a hedge fund manager as opposed to the Signal account, which is not really what drives the game. So like that way you can actually see the real thing. And also benchmark yourself against others. So that's something that I don't think should be very hard. And now that you've got Javi's ear, you can perhaps just push him on that. But I also think that we should try.
It would just be simulated, wouldn't it? It would literally just be a simulated metric. So obviously it would be risk adjusted. But if you're saying to show what it would look like on a 100K investment in your account or $1 million or whatever it may be,
I mean, that would be like a 100K investment that you saw, and then you see how I mean, basically there's the Darwin quote. I mean, it's not really different from the Darwin quote, but like psychologically, rather than look at your Signal account with 100K, I think you should be looking at your hedge fund as a 100K investor in it, and hopefully things will make more sense. Then, of course, people have like a lot of bias of thinking, oh, the risk engine cut my winner short, but then also it will cut your loser short, and people kind of forget that. So you'll be grateful as an investor when you mess up on the Signal account, but the Darwin just doesn't suffer as much. So yeah, that's that. And then also I think it's important for everybody to know that the same username that you can use in Darwin X Zero works with Darwin X and therefore for these apps. So you can simply download and log in with your Darwin X Zero user details, and you'll be on your way.
And just to add to that as well, I mean, I always say it in the strategy development sessions, but you can also view your metrics for your Darwin on darwinx.com. So like Juan said, we do have more metrics on darwinx.com. So we have little investable attributes that show kind of more in-depth insights into your strategy. So if you wanted to check those out as well, you go to darwinx.com, log in with your Darwin X Zero username, password, or email and password, and then you can search for your 4-ticker Darwin on there. You just have to put a hashtag at the end. I don't know why. I'm not a tech geek. It makes it work. It makes the search bar find that Darwin. And then when you're on there, you have a lot of the same metrics that you have on Darwin X Zero, but there's more on there as well. There's things like you can measure your max investment or your alpha cap, which is a really, really interesting one. And so I encourage everybody to look at those metrics as well and to kind of view their system on Darwin X and Darwin X Zero. I don't know if you saw the question, Juan, from Maestro, but this is probably more up your alley. He asked, I know it was mentioned previously that there was an attempt to try and branch further into the US. I wasn't sure exactly what that entailed, but was there any progress on that? Maestro's US based. That's why he's asking.
Yeah, no, I know, Maestro. Like, I'm sorry about that. So we've been swamped on a number of things. The Spanish regulator has come up with a number of prescriptions of what Spain regulated entities have to do, and that's taking up a lot of everyone's time and energy, quite frankly. So we haven't really been able to kind of focus on productive stuff in the last year, pretty much. So hopefully, I think we're kind of finalizing all those developments by hopefully end of April. We're also there's a couple of things that we're kind of working on. So when those are done, I think we'll get our hands freed up again, and we can start looking at new projects. Unfortunately, we just had this curveball thrown at us because the Spanish regulator just like wanted a number of things implemented for all the players in the market. And then, that's the thing, the US will not be easier. So we just don't want to kind of jump into something without resources to kind of know what we're doing. So for sure, we know the US is a big market and it's something that we've always kept our eyes on. But unfortunately, we've been dragged to the ground a bit at home over here in Spain. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's more questions anywhere.
There was another question from, I apologize if I pronounce it wrong, but I'm guessing it's Adiyosef or Adijoseph FX, who asked, any plans to organize a meetup for traders anytime soon, like a summit or something of that nature, which is really interesting. I mean, a summit is a huge event, so we probably wouldn't throw a summit. We could attend a summit and then do like a meetup with traders there. I went to one in London not long ago. I wouldn't call it a summit. It was more of an event. But it was awful. I met the Darwin or the trader behind SQZ when we were there, and we both decided it wasn't very good. But if anybody can suggest any good trading events that you've ever been to before, I'm interested in attending more of them this year going forward to represent Darwin X. So it'd be really cool to meet up with some traders. That's talking specifically in the UK, but depending on where you are, there's always opportunities to do meetups and to meet you guys, whether it's in a one-to-one basis or as a group. I love meeting you guys. I love chatting with everybody. And I'm always open to traveling, specifically around the UK because it's easy. I'm in Birmingham, so I'm literally in the middle of the UK, so I can go up, left, right, or down. Usually most people are down in London. And then as well, we have the majority of the company over in Madrid. So if you're ever in Madrid or if you're in Spain, there's always a trip to the office that you can take. Only if you have a Darwin. Only if you're a client. Are you UK based? I presume you are because of Sweden.
By the way,
Okay.
I love he's using the bulldog. I mean, I love that one. Good choice. Mine's the lion. I don't even know if it's showing on my avatar. I think
It's
I've shed
showing
too
on
much.
Discord, yeah.
Is it? I mean, I've shed too much hair to kind of really earn the thing, but it is what it is. Yeah, more of a lioness these days.
I wanted to when I first joined and I was choosing my avatar, I was about 5 minutes too late and there was a T-Rex and I chose the T-Rex. I sent it off to HR and she said, "Ah, sorry, Giorgio, who's one of our Italian business development managers." So Giorgio chose his 5 minutes ago and he chose the T-Rex. I was like, "Damn, I would have killed for that avatar." So I had to settle with this creepy bird. So if you haven't seen it before,
It's like a
um,
kiwi, no?
no, it's what's it called? A shoebill? Is it shoebill?
Cre Creepy bird.
It's it's creepy and then some. Look at that. That's my Darwin avatar. It's
So
horrible.
Ulpanari is asking about the launching a Darwin of Darwins. Can we elaborate a bit on that? Well, you just see the track record of it, which I've attached as a screenshot, and that is scheduled to go live for sure before the summer, hopefully earlier than that, but yeah, it is coming. And
Where
there's that Darwin of Darwins is also going to be wrapped as a institutional investable product, which is what I'm currently focusing on marketing to professional investors. So yeah, that's one area that we're going to push for. What you see in there is a 4-year track record backing around I think it's the top 100
where
or
did you
so.
paste it, Juan? I can't see it.
I have pasted it on the thing, but I just, oh, there you go.
Ah, there
Okay,
we
I
go.
hadn't hit on enter. Yeah, so that's the track record. By the way, if you had a terrible February, don't you worry, because everybody had a bloody terrible February. uh, yeah, but that's the history of it, and it will be available for purchase through the exchange and also as an institutional investable product.
I'm just trying to share it on the stream so that anybody watching on YouTube or Twitter will see what we're talking about. There we go. So this is the performance chart, right, of the Darwin of
Yeah, I mean,
Darwin's
I think
that you
actually,
were
and
talking
then
about.
February we were off to a great start, and then everything went pear-shaped.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I think as a
Uh,
general, every Darwin I've looked at, including my own, has taken a battering to start this year. Since Trump's come into power and started inputting tariffs, and then we've got the wars which are heating up, cooling off, heating up, cooling off. It's just been an absolute nightmare to trade. So I feel everybody who's included in the Darwin of Darwins personally.
so Penal is asking whether the investor will be Darwin X Labs. So the managers the Darwin X Labs team for sure. How it will actually show up on the interface, like when you, as a Darwin provider, I would guess it's Darwin X Labs, but I can't 100% confirm at this time. But it will be clear that it is Darwin X, that's for sure. We basically have two kind of Darwin X Labs investment vehicles. One is the prop account where we actually invest the company capital, and then the other one is the fund that we're launching, which is the one that's going to go live shortly. I don't know if we're going to consolidate all investment under one roof, or we'll have two explicit different users. But yeah, it's us one way or the other, and it's typically I think the same strategy. It's just that in one case we lever up our capital more than we do for investors. We're stronger believers in this.
It's the next natural step as well for Darwin X, right? Is we've got so many great traders that we can, come together once again and build out Darwin X Fund. And
I
I'm
mean,
excited to
by
see
way
this
of
go live.
background, yeah. I mean, like, oh, sorry, Kieran, that I
That's
jumped in.
fine.
Yeah, my apologies. No, I mean, I think we, if you look at, again, I encourage you to look at the Darwin X site to kind of see the investor view of the equation. Over the years, what we've seen is that a bit like in YouTube, where you see quality videos that only have like hundreds of views, and then less quality videos that have hundreds of thousands. Unfortunately, the same thing happens when in the marketplace that we've got, where for some reason the money tends to go to some guys and isn't really kind of split as rationally or fairly as one would hope. And we hope to solve that by launching this hedge fund where we make what we think is a fair allocation across the board, which is also the best use of client monies, I think. So Typhoon, very good point around us adding stock symbols from different markets. There is hopes, but no plans. The reason for us not doing that is that our footprint in stocks is still small, and each of those markets, just the market data for us to be able to offer those, cost about 10,000 euros. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, something like 60K a month just to add those. And the bulk of the trading actually typically happens in the US. So we may try and do some efforts to add some of these, but I don't think, I mean, I can't really promise anything anytime soon, unfortunately. And I understand the frustration, by the way. Like I hear you guys. It's it, especially if one knows, like if you're European, you want to, the companies in the Euronext, so you probably want to trade those. But for now, it is what it is.
Typhoon just wants to trade everything, don't you, dude? Typhoon's also got about five. You got 5 or 6 Darwins, is it? You got
Yeah,
8.
there we go.
No, you have not.
Yeah. Can we IPO as in what Darwinex? Actually, here's a question. I think who asked me? Ulpenari. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyways, what would you think if we paid you guys the success fees, like the cash, into the strategy that Kieran is sharing? So, like, if we offered you the option of investing the cash into the strategy, is that something that you would consider? The interesting thing that's about it is that every euro invested in the master index strategy is actually 7 euros that the traders see. So everybody can kind of power up everyone else by 7 by investing into it. So I guess the question is, if we pay you 100 euros, would you be interested in investing some of that into this strategy or not? Because that would be a way to sort of de facto IPO, not Darwinex itself, but IPO the best traders in Darwinex, which is the most valuable resource that we've all got. Looks like I got the juices flowing. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the US resident stuff, Maestro. I mean, like it's. So Victor, this would not be virtual money. This would be actual cash. So basically, if we pay you 100 euros of success fees, would you be interested in investing those 100 euros of real money into the index, which is real money for real traders? So we're talking real money here. There's no virtual here. It's all live. It's all real. So just to kind of to recap, yeah. So I'm not sure if I explained well. So Kieran wants some allocation, plus he's managing some funds. We pay 1,000 euros, which we owe him, into his wallet. And then would he be interested if we kind of said, okay, those 1,000 euros, part of that or some of that can be invested into this strategy, because that way you make money and then you also allocate to other traders, which helps the community grow. Yeah, so the 50K is for outside investment. It's a lot easier for us to do that if we're kind of investing as a pool. So what Javi said was correct, but there's actually several things to what Javi said. So one is there's going to be two versions of the Darwin of Darwins. One version is going to be a Darwin that you can buy directly on the investor platform. The other version is going to be a version for professionals only, which will be available as a collective investment vehicle. And what I'm mentioning is the option of investing success fees in smaller tickets into the index to basically just participate in the feeling of the community. It will be the same strategy, just available in two different formats. One of which you could just use because there's a difference between if you are a creditor to us, then you're not really having to sign up as an investment. But okay, I see you're kind of interested in it, so yeah, we'll keep that as an idea. That's something that some people have asked, because that way it's a bit of a way of giving back to the community, right? Because the community produces the returns, the community should get the returns.
I'd love that idea as well. If I was taking success fees out, I mean, mainly to avoid Mr. Taxman in the UK, because you could park it up, and then the interest that you would make on it would pretty much pay the tax you owe when you take it out anyway. That's my thoughts on that. But it's unless you need the performance fees, I'd always look to reinvest it. I mean, that chart looks just like the S&P. Like, it looks just like the S&P.
Well, I think it's actually better. Unfortunately, it's had like the last month and a half, which is just the month before we launch, hasn't been the greatest as you would always expect. But I think everybody knows that Donald has made everyone very happy since he's come into power.
But it's still better performance than the S&P though, right? The S&P from highs now is down what, 10%? Do you have what the max drawdown is that we've had?
Yeah, I think we can calculate that from there. So I think it's something like 14%. Let me just check. So peak to trough, 220, 175. Yeah, it's like 20%. It got battered pretty bad, but then it kind of pretty quickly rebounded. So yeah. Yep, such is life. Like it happens to the best of us, literally.
Every asset has seen that sort of volatility over some period of its life, anyway.
Yeah. So Typhoon, I hear you. I think the best way to kind of grow this whole thing is just to get this index and sell it out to more investors. But I hear you. I mean, we understand that we have to deliver more capital. That's our job, and that's what we're kind of working on. Yeah, no, Planari is absolutely normal with 6.5% VAR, but then it hurts a lot when it actually happens, even though it's statistically bound to happen. It's like it still hurts. It's a bit like there's gonna be a massive storm in the summer someday, and then it's just like not great when you're sitting out there in your t-shirts and wet shoes, even though it can happen. All right. Well, I don't think we've had like a lot of questions in the last few minutes. So if somebody has any of them, it's kind of last call, last orders.
Last orders at the bar. Ding, 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 ding.
Last orders at the bar. Yeah. So like it's kind of time to go. Unless anybody has an extra question, in which case, obviously, very glad to take that, and hopefully I know the answer. Okay. Well, a real pleasure as ever, guys. If there's any topics that you'd like me to cover in more detail, it's something that just like feel free to share with Kieran, and we can always try and do like more kind of specific discussions on stuff. Maybe it's me because I know some stuff about it, or maybe it's someone else. In which case, we can just invite other team members or community members to cover the topics. All right.
Yeah, thank you for your time as always, Juan. It's always
No,
always a
of course,
pleasure to host these sessions with you.
it's my job. So, uh,
The chief
okay.
what is it? Chief evangelization officer.
As chief evangelizing officer, that's kind of what I try to do the most these days. But yeah, I mean, I love these, so always keen to engage with the users. I mean, like we've done that for them, right? So it's what makes us proud.
Hmm. And 100% what you hear with Juan is what you see. You know, there's no pretense behind closed doors. Juan is one person who is constantly striving to make it better for you guys. You know, so that's why I love hosting these sessions because
Well,
you
I mean,
get
the
to
entire
see and
team.
hear
I
what
mean,
we
right?
do.
This is just like I think this is a team effort, and it's not just the team. I mean, team as in everybody in this call is part of the team, right? Like we're all pulling uh, resources to make the most for everybody. So yeah, and thank you so much for the trust. I mean, it means the world to us that if somebody had told me like 12 years ago that we'd have 9,500 people all over the world interested in what we built, I mean,
Hmm.
that gets me out of bed every day a week. So,
And puts you back into
yeah,
bed at the end of the
it does indeed, yeah, and it's turned me from a lion into a lioness, but such is life.
day.
Uh, okay, well, thanks everybody. Good night, everyone. Happy trading, and I look forward to the next one. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you, Juan, for
take
your
care.
time. And guys,
Bye
have a
bye.
fantastic
Bye
evening, and we will catch you all later.
bye bye.